Somewhere in the world right now, there's a child sitting in the dark, broke, unwanted, invisible. And somewhere in that darkness, a future is being decided. What if I told you the most famous human being on planet Earth was almost never born? That his own mother, exhausted and starving, sat in a doctor's office and asked them to end the pregnancy. And that doctor said no. That child grew up to become Cristiano Ronaldo. But here's what nobody ever tells you. The trophies, the records, the billions, none of it came without a cost so brutal it would have broken almost anyone else. Madeira, Portugal, 1985. Not the postcard version tourists see, the real Madeira. Narrow streets, crumbling walls, families packed into tiny rooms. Ronaldo was born the fourth child into a family that couldn't feed three. His father, José Diniz, worked as a gardener and kit man, earning just enough to survive and spending most of that on alcohol. His mother, Dolores, cleaned other people's houses to keep her children from going hungry. Young Cristiano shared a bedroom with all three of his siblings. He had no boots, no proper ball, no future. At least, that's what the world around him believed. He believed something very different. He played barefoot on the streets because shoes were a luxury. He used rolled-up socks as a football because leather balls were for other kids, richer kids. By 8, he joined the local club Untold, where his own father worked. And everyone could already see it. The speed, the hunger, the obsession. But talent alone meant nothing in Madeira. At 11, scouts from Sporting CP spotted him and called him to Lisbon. It should have been the greatest day of his life. Instead, it meant leaving his mother, his siblings, his entire world, at 11 years old, and stepping into a dormitory full of strangers who already despised him for being different. The boys at Sporting CP's academy laughed at him. His accent was wrong. His clothes were wrong. His village was wrong. In a world of polished city kids, he was the rough kid from the island who spoke differently and dressed poorly. He cried himself to sleep in that dormitory, alone, far from home, mocked every single day. And then came something worse than the bullying. At 15, during a routine check, doctors found it. His heart, the very engine driving his obsession, was malfunctioning. Tachycardia, an irregular heartbeat that raced violently even at rest. One word from the wrong doctor could have ended everything. Imagine being 15 years old and being told your heart might force you to quit the only thing that ever made you feel alive. That is exactly what Cristiano Ronaldo faced. Sporting CP's medical staff scheduled emergency laser surgery. The procedure involved threading a catheter through his body and burning the tissue causing the irregular rhythm. His mother was terrified. She later admitted she feared football was over for her son. But Ronaldo wasn't afraid. He walked into that operating room with the same eyes he always had. Quiet, certain, unshakable. By morning, the surgery was done. By the following week, he was back on the training pitch. Nothing would stop him. August 6, 2003. Sporting CP versus Manchester United, a friendly match that would change football history. That afternoon, a 17-year-old Ronaldo tore United's defense apart so completely that United's players went to Sir Alex Ferguson at halftime and demanded he sign the kid immediately. Ferguson didn't hesitate. Within days, Cristiano Ronaldo became Manchester United's number 7, the shirt worn by Cantona, by Beckham. He was a teenager from a broken, impoverished family in a tiny island town, and he had just walked into Old Trafford and been handed a legend's number. But the hardest moment of his life was still coming. From that point, the rise was relentless. Premier League titles, Champions League glory, 3 Ballon d'Or awards at United alone. Then Real Madrid came, a world record transfer of 94 million euros that made the entire planet stop and stare. In Madrid, he became something beyond a footballer. He became a phenomenon. 5 Champions Leagues, 5 Ballon d'Or trophies, records that may never be broken. He trained when others slept. He studied tape while teammates celebrated. Every single thing he achieved, he built from scratch. From barefoot streets and borrowed balls, through sheer, obsessive, unrelenting will. But behind every smile on that global stage, something quietly broke inside him. His father, José Diniz, never saw any of it. In September 2005, when Cristiano was just 20 years old, his father died. Liver failure caused by decades of alcoholism. He was 52. He never saw the Champions League. He never saw the Ballon d'Or. He never saw his son become the most famous person on earth. Years later, in a television interview with Piers Morgan, Ronaldo was shown footage of his father he had never seen. Filmed just before his death, his father expressing quiet pride in his son. Cristiano Ronaldo, the man who never cries, broke completely. Through tears, he whispered, "To be the number one, and he doesn't see anything." Today, Cristiano Ronaldo holds more international goals than any player in history. He is the first person to score in 5 different World Cups. He has won league titles in England, Spain, and Italy. He has over 900 career club goals. He is the most followed human being on Instagram, over 600 million people. But the number that matters most isn't any of those. It is this: he was almost not born. He grew up with nothing. He had his heart operated on at 15. He lost his father too soon. And yet, he turned every single piece of that pain into something the world had never seen before, and may never see again. So the next time you see Cristiano Ronaldo lift a trophy, look past the celebration. Look past the jersey and the stadium and the screaming crowd. See the boy who was almost never given a chance to live. The boy who cried alone in a dormitory, mocked for being different. The boy who lay on a surgeon's table at 15 and chose, against all odds, to keep going. His story is not about football. It is about what a human being can become when they refuse, absolutely refuse, to let the world decide their worth. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe, and never stop fighting for your dream.